Goedemiddag allemaal. 1 uur exact volgens mij. Ja, mooie tijd. Na een korte international break zijn wij terug. Gaan we vooruitkijken op de wedstrijd van zondag. PSV uit. En dat doen we zoals gebruikelijk met onze trainer. In het Engels. Dus wij switchen vanaf nu naar het Engels. Who is the first one who would like to ask a question? Christian, shall we start with you? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Francesco.
Good afternoon.
The guys are back from the international break, and you also had some injured players that were close to finding full fitness. What is the situation now with these guys?
Yeah, so the situation is still a bit under process, especially with some of them. So both Yuri and Wout are not going to be part of the game for sure. Remco as well, and for the others we are taking some extra hours to check the situation. Especially Rasmussen looks quite positive.
Rasmus looks positive, and the guys that went on international break, they're all back fit?
Yeah, everybody's okay.
Yeah. The story of the week, of course, is the tuberculosis infection at PSV. You've received information, I presume, from the medical staff here. How do you look at the situation?
Yeah, no, of course, like we got the news on Tuesday, if I'm not wrong, and since then the medical department has been in charge and close contact with the PSV medical staff, and from there, of course, they are taking, I think, all the necessary steps to make everything in the safest way possible.
Have you heard anything about a change in game protocol before the game?
No, it's nothing that has been mentioned so far. So we are really waiting for news and update. But I think everything it will go quite normal.
You've always said I don't want to mention the fact that we're the title favorite. Are you playing the title favorite on Sunday?
So if we don't mention, we keep not mentioning. No, it is to speak about favorite. I think is a game that is going to start, of course, definitely with a 0-0. A game that both teams, of course, they will do everything to try to achieve their maximum. So I think in this case there is nothing more than this. Like it's a game with two teams that for sure they will do everything to get the best out of it.
Yeah, but do you feel PSV are the title favorite?
For me, again, it's not to mention anything, at least not from my side, because, you know my routine, you know my mantra, you know my quotes, and the things that are part of my brain, and my brain works game by game. So the table and the race is not something that is really in my mind. In my mind is to prepare ourselves well for a game that is definitely a big challenge for both teams.
Yeah, that's why I asked about PSV and not about Ajax, but
yeah,
it didn't work.
Yeah,
it didn't work.
No,
okay.
Yeah.
One final
Good
question. We've seen some teams in the past few months that have applied very high pressure on the Ajax build-up. AZ, Union, Eintracht, and I'm sure you've seen that Ajax sometimes had trouble with that. PSV do that as well. Is there a good reason to perhaps change the normal game plan, for instance, the game plan that you had against AZ, against an opponent like this?
Because AZ, you have the feeling that the game didn't work well. My opinion against AZ was a quite positive one. I think we had the biggest opportunities and the biggest chances. After we cannot be in the mind of the other coaches about what they want to do. What we can do is to prepare ourselves in the best way possible for all different scenarios. About the game that we are going to expect with PSV, I think there are different possibilities, and of course our task is to be able to find the proper answer to what the opponent is going to do. So as always with flexibility, but as well also with what we are doing since the beginning of the season, and to be ready for that, and on top of the small details.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Martin.
Francesco, we like to think, of course, as if you look at this match, as the crucial one in the championship to make the game important. Is that the way you look at it as well?
Not at all. No, because I think it's a game that, of course, is important. Is one of the biggest game usually in the league historically. But yeah, the reality that there are 24 points that needs to be played till the end of the season is not mentioning the fact that is a crucial game that we are going to get any extra motivation, because after the reality that to arrive to this game and to give a certain value, the reality that also are also other matches so important, and my way of working and yeah, this one you can really ask to my players, the attention that we put to prepare the game with teams that are on bottom of the league is exactly the same with the teams that are at the top of the league. So this is the way that I work and the way that I try to give respect to all the teams that we face.
I don't know if you agree, but a draw, in my view, would be good for Ajax to keep the distance with PSV, of course.
But you know, this one is also goes in the part of the calculation that is the part that I always skip. I say that myself first and also the team second all the time, that also maybe unconsciously we went on the pitch with something in the mind. We need to go on the pitch to get the best out of it, knowing that of course we are going to play against the current champion of the league, with one team that, to put a bit the thing in context, you know, not to forget, because I know you guys, you like quite a lot to make comparison with previous season when other coaches were here, other players, a different budget. But the reality that we are coming from, as you know, from a gap with them of last season of 35 points. So you can imagine the type of, and in the meanwhile also we lost 5 to 6 players that were crucial, or let's say starters. So as you can imagine, the journey has been quite long, and now we need to go there again to play our game with a lot of attention, desire, and of course to try to do the maximum that we can.
Maybe this is a difficult question as well, but could it have any consequence tactically wise, the idea of a draw, or is that not in your mind at all?
But it's not in my mind at all, so this is not going to change at all our game plan or the way that we are going to approach the game. We go there to get the maximum, and this is what we did in all the matches so far.
Last question about PSV. They had, of course, a very difficult time. There is something like a recovery, but is it still a bit vulnerable, PSV? How do you look at the club?
No, I look at the club with again with a lot of respect and and knowing that they are the champion of Eredivisie. So this is for me like the only thing that I can value after good moments and bad moments is part of football. All the teams are going through period of let's say a bit of lack of energy, or call it in the way that you want, but it's human, and nothing is a team with 25 plus players of incredible level, with the coach really experienced, and as I say, for me, all my respect and all my respect to them.
Mike.
Francesco, good afternoon. Do you agree that the pressure is on PSV, and is that pleasant for Ajax?
Definitely the pressure is not on Ajax. In this part I agree. I don't know where it is, but definitely it's not on our shoulder.
But if it's on PSV, is that pleasant for Ajax? Is it?
No, but it's, again, what is not in my house, I cannot really control.
Okay, you don't talk about the championship, looking match by match. In the end, are you happy if Ajax finish second?
But definitely. Yesterday I had a quite interesting conversation also with Alex. Like we were making like a small review about the season, and what we were reinforcing is the fact that the priority here is to bring the club back to the Champions League, ideally with a spot number 2, let's say in the top 2. But again, the third position is still what the club asked me at the beginning of the season. After everything that we can get more, of course, we are not. We don't want to stop. But again, the reality is clear. The Champions League spot is not secure yet. And what we want to do is to first, of course, to qualify for the top 3, and when it's possible to get the mathematics for the top 2.
Okay, what is an explanation for why Ajax has not lost any game with Jordan Henderson this season?
About the importance of Jordan, I think you know clearly my opinion. I think I prove myself in every single moment like how important it is. I decided him to be the captain of the team. I really put myself in between all the discussion to try to keep Jordan here as long as possible, at least to finish the season with us and to respect his contract. So what Jordan brings to the team for me is very clear. On the pitch, off the pitch, he's a benchmark in terms of standard, attitude, winning mentality. So all these elements, of course, are key, especially for the process where we are in, and after, of course, what he brings on the pitch with his quality, understanding, and flexibility on the ball and off the ball.
Yeah, last question. On corner kicks against, players of Ajax look at their opponents instead of the ball. Is that how you want it, and how
Yes.
smart is that against Luc de Jong?
But every team, of course, is facing is defending in a different way, different solution and different possibilities. So what the players are doing is what we ask to them to do.
Thank you.
Robert.
Francesco, good afternoon. How important is Brian Brobbey in the game against PSV? He doesn't score maybe that many goals, but how important is he for you in the way you want to play?
No, Brian is, of course, is a key element of the team for his contribution. As you said, maybe this season, especially in the first part of the season, maybe we lack in some goals, or the contribution has not been the usual one that his season. But I think his progression through the season has been brilliant. He's getting better and better and better. I think if you take the last 4 or 5 matches that he played, he did really good. And I think he's a player that is really growing a lot. He's getting mature. He's getting more responsibility. He's definitely playing much more in the favor of the team. Sometimes also when he has the opportunity to shoot, looking for a teammate that maybe is in a better position to score. So I think he's doing good, and I'm really happy for him about his evolution, and especially now that about his injury also, like the responsibilities are even more, and a part of this, of course, like we are waiting to have back Wout because he's a key player for us, and we really need him in the last push of this season.
Still 4 goals in Eredivisie for centre forward of Ajax. Yeah, that's something that we are not used to. Is also the fact that Taylor is now scoring more goals tells something about your playing style?
The most important part is the ball at the end goes at the end of the net. After who is going to score, I don't really care about it. In the goal of Kenneth, there is also a lot of contribution from Brian for the assist, or for the fact that he's a player that is able and capable to keep 2-3 opponents around him, so he's creating a bit more freedom around. And as you said, Davy, Kenneth, and Kian got a big benefit out of the presence of Brian.
Last question. I'm not sure if you love tennis, but we see it as a kind of match point. Maybe it's something from the outside world. A match point for Ajax against PSV. You still not thinking like this, but can you imagine that fans, supporters look like it?
But look, about the opinion and the perspective of other people, I cannot really control. Everybody is free to think and to believe in the way that we want. What I can really care or manage is, first of all, my own opinion, and to have a common line with my players. And I think my players, since already quite many months, I think all of us, we are really we like tennis, and we watch some tennis match, and I think this is a 3-point match. But again, nothing more than this. For me, winning, drawing, or losing, nothing is going to be decided just with the game of Eindhoven.
Any questions on this side, perhaps? Yeah, Willem?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
For us as reporters, it's sometimes easier to write an article in 3 days than in 2 weeks. How is it for a coach? You have 2 weeks now to prepare, to make a game plan. Is it sometimes easier than when you have only 3 days?
I like this comparison. Yes and no, in the way that the article that we wrote about the PSV game at the end is an article that goes really in the day by day. Like we had the example of the news that we got recently from Eindhoven about the infection and the illness that happened. So as you can imagine, it was already like something that forced us to change, or at least to think about possible changes. And after, as you know, like in the international break and having almost 20 players around the world, you cannot really plan too many things because you need to understand how the players are coming back from the international break. My days, or let's say especially the first week, I was at home with 3 screens open to watch in the same time the matches. So it was usually the international break is a waiting moment, and after when we arrive to the moment when everybody is back is the moment where the pieces start to be back, and we start to create our own puzzle and narrative for the next match.
But it's easy for you because you are a thinker, and if you have too
Yeah,
much,
so
maybe you have too much time to think sometimes.
Yeah, could be. But no, as I said, it's more like check what is going on, adjust. Is a good time also to reflect. And after the international break, more than just to prepare a game, is to think a bit about the next block of matches that we are going to face, and to make like a point, also with the technical stuff, to understand how we want to approach the next period.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Johan.
Good afternoon, Francesco. You mentioned the injured players. Didn't hear Wijndal. Will he be there on Sunday?
Yeah, because now he's back with us since already 1 week. So I forget to mention, because I consider him already totally fit to be back with the team.
Okay, and Anton Guy will miss the match because of a suspension.
Yeah.
Logical replacement would be Lucas Rosa. Do you think the same way will he start, or do you also consider other options? Do you see any other options?
No, there are options, because of course, like there are players that also played there in the previous experiences, or also with us. So there are several options, and of course Lucas is one of these one.
Can you mention the other options?
We can make a really long list. From Kian, that he played already there, Kenneth, that maybe is a new position that he can explore, couple of center backs that already had in their previous experience a couple of matches over there. So there are alternatives, definitely.
Last thing, before the international break, you had good hope that Wout would be there in Eindhoven.
Yeah.
He won't make it. Does that disappoint you? And in general, we talked a lot about the recovery of the Ajax players last season. Do you see any progression in that?
But about the fact of, first of all, the disappointment about the injury of Wout, definitely from my side, from his side. I think he made, I don't know how many scans, like every 3 days he wanted to have an MRI to check the progression. Of course, it was a bit longer, the time by the medical inspection. But he did everything that it was in his chance. After, we cannot really impact the calcification of the bone, more than to give him the proper vitamin D and to do the proper treatment. We cannot really go against the nature and the natural recovery. About the other part, I think, yes, definitely there has been an interesting progression in the standard around the first team. Still, we are not there yet, but definitely we are moving in the right way.
Jordi.
Francesco, good afternoon. Especially in the media, this match is very hyped. In this press conference, it was about the title race again as well. Do you notice any tension by the players, and how can you put the pressure away?
Again, pressure is part of our job, and I think it's not to put it away, but is to deal with it in the best way possible. So, for me, pressure, fears are all emotions that are constantly with us, because who say that that doesn't exist is not true. But again, it's a pressure that you need to handle and you need to live with in a proper way. So again, we had already many important matches. We had many matches. I was, if you ask me, I can tell you which were the matches where I went on the game with a lot of pressure on myself, to try to make everything ready for that game in the best way. One of these one was Almere, because we were coming from an international game that cost us a lot of energies. So this type of match for me are the ones that, as a coach, you need to really make something extra to be really well prepared. A match of the game that we are going to play on Sunday, I think, is going to be prepared naturally by itself. So about this part, for me, is quite clear. And as I said, I'm really lucky that I'm leading a group and I'm a part of a group of players that they know what they have to do day in, day out. And all of us, we are in this mood of game by game. And, it's becoming so natural for all of us. And we will go again with this way.
So for you, as the coach, a top match like this is maybe easier to prepare than?
No, again, there are not easier matches. There are always different challenges, and this match, of course, has its own story, and we need to prepare it for the demands that we think we are going to face.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Francesco, have you told the players already the lineup for Sunday?
Not yet.
Not yet. When will you do that?
I don't know.
Is there some rule that you use when you tell them?
Sometimes it's the day before, sometimes it's 2-3 days before, sometimes it's the game day. Again, according to the vibes that I feel. Of course, I have, let's say, a main routine, but after. I think it's important also to change sometimes the routine.
And you do that because you think it helps to get a better result, I presume?
Yes, and also because sometimes I want to check till the last moment, and I want to have and I want to keep open all the possibilities.
And when you will announce it to the players for this, do you know that already, or does it still depend on what is in the air?
I don't know.
Another question. The competition has changed. You are now only in one competition, not in two or in three. The coming weeks till the end of the season. How does that change your approach for the coming weeks?
Yeah. So in this period, as I mentioned before, we had a bit of time to reschedule ourselves with the new routine. So we thought about different possibilities, different scenarios. Of course, also thinking about the moment of the season, what many players did, what some players needs to do more to come back, from injuries and to recover. So we prepare already for the next 2-3 weeks one plan and one approach that is of course different because we didn't have many full week. So this is going to be again one new challenge that we have to face, because also with more time, of course, it's positive in one side, but in the other side is a change of routine and change of approach from all of us. So yeah, we need to reset ourselves a little bit and to be smart to find the proper adjustment.
Would it be fair to say that now you have more time to train, that you can improve the game and you can don't have to rotate as much players as you used to?
So about About the fact to rotate, yes or not, it will go again with the status of the players, so how they will feel, how they are, because yes, it's true that we are not going to have any more the 3 matches, that of course it was a big topic since the beginning of the season, but it's also true that some players are really high in minutes, and yeah, we are in a particular moment of the season where we need to be really sharp and clever in managing all the energies and to really pick the ones that are ready and fresh to go on the pitch and to give their 100%.
I think for you as a trainer, it's nice. You have more time to train now.
But to be fair, I was quite happy to be busy with the schedule, because it means that we had more competitions to play and the possibility to be inside. And nothing. Now there is a moment where things is different, and again, it's a change of mindset for all of us.
Last question. One more question about Brian Brobbey. He has scored 4 goals in the last 8 matches. You mentioned before that his fitness has improved. What other aspects of his game have you seen improved in the last period?
Many things. Like I think the fitness is one, and this one is the basement. Like to be a better athlete helps you to be a better football player, to have more freshness in the decision making and in the understanding. So I think Brian honestly is really stepping up in the fact of being capable to cope with different demands. At the beginning of the season, his focus was a bit limited to a certain area. I think now he's a player that is getting is becoming more a team player. If you remember the first game against PSV, how we managed the different scenario with Boscagli, that sometimes was low, sometimes was a bit higher on the pitch. So these type of things, are difficult to be counted in numbers, but if you watch with a deeper eye, to be fair, gives a lot to the team. And as I said, I'm really grateful for the evolution that Brian is having with the team as a player, but also his role as a leader and as a reference for the team. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for being here with us. We hope to see you Sunday in Eindhoven.
Thank you so much.